Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about inexpensive rifles that you can add to your collection, and are they any good or not? And why? Because they're cheap, and I'm cheap, and I like just the cheaper the guns are, the more guns I can have, and that's a good thing. So I don't need a reason. Roll the intro. Hey guys, welcome back to Kwmjam Adventures. So yes, today's topic is an inexpensive rifle, the Mossberg 702 Plinkster, which I guess I should show you. Okay, here, let me set you guys down here. There we go. So, this is what I'm talking about. This is the Mossberg 702 Plinkster, a 22 long rifle. Actually, I'm going to move you guys around here just a little bit and maybe get a little bit better of an angle there. There we go, now the sun's helping me instead of just blinding me. So yeah, this is a 22 long rifle, semi-automatic. So I bought this is one of actually the first guns I ever bought. And if you've been watching the channel for a while, you've seen this a few times. I've had it on a couple of videos. It's been really awesome. So I'm gonna set this down and give you guys a bit of a close-up and tell you why, despite reviews, I still ended up buying this rifle. So hang on a second. Alright, so here's a bit of a more close-up. So yeah, this is one of the first guns I bought. Definitely the first 22 I bought. And yeah, so like I said, there was a lot of reviews that when I was looking into this gun. So first and foremost, one of the main reasons I ended up going with this one is actually because it has a 10-round magazine that I bought specifically for hunting. But when it came with was this guy here, which is a 25-round magazine with this giant like AR style thing, which makes it kind of look ridiculous when it's in the, well, here I'll show you. I'm doing this with one hand because I'm making it difficult on purpose apparently. I'm gonna grab this here so you can see, well, that you're not going to see anything that way. Okay, let me put you back on the tripod. There we go. So you can see it kind of looks a little crazy with that, which I kind of dig, to be honest. But then it's got a little button back there to take it out. I'll go over that in a minute. But then I bought a smaller 10-round magazine, which then makes it look a little bit more like your standard semi-automatic 22 long rifle. Like at least all the other brands, you know. Like this is the Mossberg, but like I said, with this, it looks very similar to a lot of offerings from Savage and a lot of the other manufacturers that make these types of guns. Now, a couple things. So when I first bought this, I read a lot of reviews, and a lot of people were saying they're prone to jamming, and you know, just not overly reliable, and they're kind of cheap, which is not wrong. Like, so even right now, I did a quick check on the website because I bought this gun a few years ago, and there's still a couple places selling it anywhere from $250 to about $300 Canadian, which isn't too bad. And for a starter rifle, it actually is really good. Now, what are my experiences with it? Now, when I first bought it, first thing I did what a lot of gun people do, is they literally just loaded up the truck, headed out to the range, and shot it. So with that, sometimes when you get a gun from the factory, sometimes they're not really well lubricated, or maybe the lubrication they use doesn't really run it really well. And I did end up having 2 jams, like minor jams, in that first time out to the range. However, I then took it home, did a full cleaning. Actually, I think I posted a picture on my Instagram of it like fully teared apart. If I did, I'll throw it on here. So I did a full cleaning and tear down, cleaned it all up, and then after that I brought it out to the range, and I have yet to have a failure since then. So, you know, for me, in my experience with my particular one, it's fairly reliable, at least with the ammo that I've used, etc. I've even taken this bird hunting, and I've gotten a few birds with it, so it's accurate enough, at least for my purposes. One of the reasons why, say, for instance, I went with this over, say, the 1022 is, actually, you know what, before I get into that, you know what, let's just shoot it a bit. I've been talking too much. Let's shoot a bit. All right, so I got 10 rounds loaded up of, this is the Remington Thunderbolt 22. Now when I used to shoot this gun all the time, I shot a lot of this and it worked really, really well with this ammunition. And part of the reason actually I wanted to make this video wasn't so much, hey, let's make a review of the 702 Plinkster. It was actually more the fact that I realized I haven't shot this thing in a long time. Last time I shot it, I put it away dirty. So I probably haven't shot this thing in, I'm gonna say probably a year and a half or so. I've gotten a lot of other 22s, so I wanted to get out and shoot it. And I figured taking it out of the safe, from a reliability standpoint, let's see, you know, it's sitting there. Didn't clean it after the last time. It's now sat at least a year. Let's see how the reliability is. So, let's give it a shot. It's got a little steel target down there. You might not even be able to see it, but just using iron sights. All right, so that's 10 rounds without a failure so far. So this is one thing that's kind of interesting. It's kind of unique and weird. Well, not, I guess, unique, but so it does have a last round hold open, but it is based off of the magazine. So the magazine is actually what catches this. So when I take this out, the bolt slams home. So it's not a true hold open. It does have a little feature in here where you can pull it back. You can pull it back, push it in, and it kind of locks into a little thing inside the receiver. So in that way, you could like have it open if you needed to for whatever reason, and then you just pull it back, pull that out a little bit. You might be able to see that, like it just kind of shifts in slightly, and then it slams home. So, but that's empty right now. It is a really nice actually charging handle. It is plastic, but it's kind of contoured for your finger, so it works rather well. Yeah, so yeah, going back to what I was about to say earlier is that why did I go with this over the 1022? Well, one, 1022 is a bit more expensive, so this was a little bit cheaper. The 25 round magazines was a big one, just because up here in Canada I can't get the Ruger 1022, like anything over the 10 round magazines anymore, just due to some weird legal things in our firearms policies. So therefore I kind of was intrigued to go with something else where I could get those larger capacity magazines. So that's ultimately what was the deciding factor for this guy. But yeah, let's actually go and take a close-up for real this time. It'll go over some of the features of the gun. So, all right, so we talked about the charging handle already. This is the magazine release right here. So you basically it's just spring-loaded. You kind of press it like that. So if we pop the 10 rounder in there, and then so it locks into place. So you kind of press that in towards the magazine and it unlocks it out. Now with the 25 rounds, since it's got this big blocking piece, it covers this, which you'll see. So you can see it covers that little lever. So this has a little button on it, which actually makes it really easy. Really easy as it kind of gets stuck in there. It's also hard to do with one hand. So this button is basically actuating that. So it actually makes it a little bit easier to load and unload. It's just, I didn't want to take this kind of magazine out hunting. It was just in the way. So that's why I got the little 10 rounders. We're going to talk a bit more about the big magazine in a minute, just because there's kind of a unique little thing to that. Going back to the gun, so it's just a little push button through safety. It's got a decent trigger on it. Now that I have a lot of other guns to compare to, it's actually not horrible. It is hollow plastic, so a lot of people have commented that this looks more like a pellet gun than an actual 22, which I partially kind of agree with, but whatever. I didn't buy it to look pretty. Anyways, the funny thing is it's got this rubber butt pad on the back that is probably more stout than even a lot of the shotguns that I own, which is funny, but it is soft, so it's super comfortable. Yeah, like I said, the stock is plastic and a little cheap. I can kind of see it. I don't know if you can see, like it does shift around in there, so that's not great. Once again, for a sub $300 gun though, we can't overly complain. And then the sights are fully adjustable here with fiber optics, with just like those little green things in there. And I'll show you what the sight picture looks like here in a second. But just big, nice little dials on here that make it nice and easy to adjust, which is awesome. And now this is the part that really makes it look like a pellet gun, is that there's this giant like hood right here over the front sight post, which is also fiber optic in red. So yeah, that kind of adds to the pellet gunniness of it. You know what I mean. Anyways, here, let me show you what the sight picture looks like. So you can kind of see, I'll go in this way. Oh yeah, there you go. You can kind of see the green lights. So yeah, they're decent enough. It's kind of hard to get the camera low enough to get a sight picture on here. You kind of get the idea there, but yeah, pretty decent in that regard. And you got your, we'll go back over here. And you got your swing swivels for if you are going to put a sling on it, which is nice. And other than that, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't have, oh, I forget what the name of this type of rail is. This is what you typically see on a pellet gun. Is it dovetail? I think it's dovetail. So you could put a scope on there. It's not a Picatinny rail, but once again, inexpensive gun, not a huge deal. But now I want to show you what's kind of funny about the magazine. All right, so right now we're going to talk about the 25 round magazine. Actually, let me zoom you guys back out a little bit. There you go. So yeah, it's got this little follower here, but the big thing is when you're starting to load this and you're starting to get into 25 rounds, there's going to be a lot of pressure on this spring, unlike what you're going to have with the 10 round magazine. Now, the one thing is these magazines, like the sort of catch, the lips on here, or whatever you want to call them, you know, they're metal. They're not sharp, but when you're shoving rounds in there, if you're doing it a lot, it's gonna, your finger's gonna hurt. So the 10 rounds not too bad. Getting 10 rounds in there is not too bad. You're not fighting a ton of spring pressure. So we'll just kind of do a couple. So it's just like most kind of 22 magazines here. Just kind of get the rim in there and shove her back. Well, as you can see, it kind of does get a little harder to push down because you have to get that first round started. That's 10. And you kind of see, well, once again, it's just kind of that pseudo double stack in there. So that's kind of nice. Now, when you first start off with the 25 round magazine, let's get some ammo out here. It does have, sorry, before I get into that, it does have like the little markings here to tell you 16 rounds, 20 rounds, 25 rounds, so you can kind of keep it marked. But that spring pressure does build up quickly. So, you know, to get it started, it's pretty easy, just like the 10 round. But what quickly ends up happening is that spring pressure gets really tough. And these things get sharp. I don't even want to load it anymore like that. But, so Mossberg knew that was kind of an issue. So rather than changing the magazine, they came up with a different solution. Every one of these 25 round magazines comes with this little loader. So it basically, which way does it go? So it goes this way because this little notch sort of rests in the little catch for the magazine. So this sits here, which then allows you to, it even says right on the top, press. Where did you see the guy? I don't know if you guys saw it. There you go. It says press there. So you basically press it down and then it gets you started. You lift up and you can push the bullet in. So now it's very easy to overcome that spring pressure, and it's a lot more comfortable to load. Now, once again, the design of the magazine, if it wasn't, I have other 25 round magazines from other guns that don't have this problem, and they're kind of a dream to load, so I'll do a video on those in the future. But at the very least, Mossberg identified that, yeah, know what, it is kind of a pain in the butt to load, so we're going to give you something to make it easier. So I do respect that and I appreciate that. Like I said, there are just some better designs out there that make it a lot easier so you don't need this extra tool. But once again, inexpensive gun. The fact that they're throwing that in there, you don't have to go and buy it afterwards. It comes with every 25 round magazine. So since I bought an extra one, an extra magazine, I've got 2 of them. So even if I lose one, I'm still good. I think we're almost at 25 here. Oh yeah, no, we still got a bit to go. Get them pressed down there a bit because it's getting, even with this little tool, the spring pressure is quite substantial. I think that's actually, I think that's 24 or 25. It's kind of not clear. The bullet's not there, but either way, that's a lot of spring pressure. But you know what? stop talking about the gun again. Let's shoot again. All right, so I got the 25 round magazine loaded up. Get that in there. Now, when it is fully loaded, yeah, like when you're at 24, 25 rounds, there's a lot of spring pressure to overcome to push it up against the bolt. But yeah, that grabbed no problem. So we'll see how that goes. Just gonna put the safety back on here for a second. So I've got a little steel spinner target there at about, that's only at about 10, 15 yards. Then I've got another steel target there at about 25 yards. And then I've got another target way down at about 50 yards, which we'll try. I'm gonna set up a camera in a little bit and we will take a look at the accuracy at a little bit longer range. So yeah, let's just play around with these 25 rounds and see if we get a failure. All right. Okay, we're not shooting that spinner anymore. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it flung, I shot it out of the ground. So we're gonna shoot at the other steel target here at about 20, 25 yards. Yeah. All right, so another 24, 25 rounds with no failures, which once again has been my experience with this gun. Like I said, I haven't had it out of the safe in a long time, and it was put away dirty. I don't know how many rounds were put through it since its last cleaning, but we're still going good. We're gonna go talk about one other thing, and then we're gonna try some different rounds, because I know this ammunition, that 22 Thunderbolt, works really well, so we're gonna try something else. I'm a big fan of inexpensive rifles. One, it allows me to buy more things. As you know, I've got a bit of a collection, and I really like to try different types of firearms and play around with them. So, you know, I walk into the gun store and there's something cheap and different on the shelf. Yeah, there's a good chance I'm gonna buy it. So, and my gun shop knows it, so they've got my number. Anyways, but you know, even for, not just for 22s, it's part of the reason why I own a lot of 22s, but even other things, like you guys, once again, if you've been watching the channel, you've seen my Canuck shotgun, which is a Turkish 12 gauge shotgun, shorter barrel, which I kind of like. That's kind of one of the reasons I bought it. But once again, it was an inexpensive shotgun that I could afford at the time. You know, for me to go and get a Mossberg or a Remington or something like that, it would have been not quite double the price, but a lot more. So this got me into something to get started. And as you've seen, this thing's been awesome. I love this gun. I do want to get like a Mossberg and some other things, just because, once again, I'm a collector and I want more guns. But this thing has been awesome. Like I said, maybe I'll do a bit more of a video on this in the future. You guys have seen this a ton on my channel, though. This has probably been on my channel more than any of my guns, except for maybe the flintlock, because you know I love my flintlock. Hey guys, before we start trying some different ammunition, I just want to remind you, go check out onlineoutfitters.ca. Great friend of the channel. They help me out with a lot of different gear. I got some stuff coming in the next little bit that we're going to be reviewing some products from them that they got me some good deals on. And you've seen some of the stuff that they've provided me in the past on this channel. So make sure to go check them out, onlineoutfitters.ca. Link in the description down below. Okay, so we're going to try a couple of different ammunitions here today. Dig through my collection of ammo here. So the Remington Thunderbolt is just some great bulk ammo that I really love. All my initial guns that I had, I love shooting it. But I'm going to try some other stuff that I've not had as much of success with different guns, and we're going to try it today and see if we get any type of failures. So I got the, what is it, Winchester Wildcat. So just once again, some very inexpensive ammo. We might shoot this. I know this shoots really well. This is the Gila Super Extra Hollow Point 38 grain. This was my kind of go-to hunting round when I went hunting for birds, and it worked really, really well. It was fairly accurate. So we got our CCI Mini Mag, Hollow Point. So yeah, Hollow Point and Mini Mags, and then I also got just the round nose Mini Mag too. So I just grabbed a bit of a collection of some different ammos to try out. Let's see if we get some failures. So I'm gonna load up a magazine and we'll go from there. All right, well, I've got two 25 round magazines loaded up. So this is the Winchester Wildcat, which I'm starting with it first because it tends to be a little bit of a dirtier ammunition. It tends to leave a lot more residue in the chamber. So we're gonna do that. And then I've got another 25 round magazine with the CCI mini mag hollow point. So we'll follow that up with that. So not really going for accuracy. I'm just gonna try and see if we can get this guy to fail. And we'll see what happens. So yeah, we're good. Let's see what happens. All right, so there's one magazine without a failure. Knocked over my target halfway through it, so I'm just shooting near it now. Well, now we're warmed up a little bit. Okay, well, so I pulled that back, and we did actually have a bit of a failure. I don't know if you guys can see in there a little bit. I can't tell if you guys can see in there, but I do have a little bit. It didn't quite feed that round in. Oh, it was just spring pressure. I gave it a little push and it drove right in. So that might just be from it being a little bit dirty, but it is technically a failure. So either way, I figured I'd show you guys that. So let's see what happens with the rest of these rounds. All right, so no failures there. So once again, it could have just been, the spring pressure. It could have been maybe I didn't let it go as abruptly as I should have with the semi-auto. Like I might have just eased it down. It didn't have enough spring pressure to push that first round in. But like I said, not trying to hide anything. So it was technically a failure, but we just had to push it and it went in. So call it what you want. All right, we're set up now to do some accuracy stuff. So target set up down at about, I don't know, I think I counted about 50 yards. So I got 3 mags loaded up. So first we're gonna do the Remington Thunderbolt out of the 10 round magazine. Then we're gonna do the Aguila hollow point super extra out of the, just 5 rounds out of the 25 round. And the last one's gonna be the CCI mini mag target round nose. I'm not shooting from a rest, so this isn't gonna be a perfect example of accuracy. Yeah, let's give this a shot and go from there. So yeah, this is the Remington Thunderbolt. You know what? I'm gonna try and make a bit of a rest here. All right, so I got my camera bag here, so I'm gonna use this as a bit of a rest. It's not gonna be ideal, but it's gonna be a little bit. Actually, you know what? Yeah, we'll do this. This'll work a lot better for what we're trying to do here. Let's get you guys moved over a little bit here. There we go. So this will be a little bit more stable for our test. So, all right. So 5 rounds Remington Thunderbolt. Yeah, that's 5 there. So now moving on to the Aguila hollow point super extra. There we go. Chambered a lot better that time. Rounds there. And finally, the CCI target, mini mag or target, round nose. I think I pulled that one to the right. The camera will tell if I did. That's 5. Well, from here the grouping does look kind of good. You guys can see that because I'll have the camera angle there for you guys, but I want to go see what happened. All right, so we're coming up on the target here. Oh, aye. Wow. Well, I'm a little all over the place, I guess. So yeah, you guys can see I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in that first center sort of area. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 in the second ring. 2, 3, 4 on that outer, and then that one way over there. So obviously I'll have to take a look at the GoPro footage here and see which 5 bullets were which. So a little all over. I'm also doing iron sights freestanding there, so gotta take that with a little bit of credit. But like I said, still got a lot in here. I'm actually really curious to see what the results are for each round. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna take a look at that real quick. So yeah, guys, I took a look at that footage, and you could see I definitely pulled some of those shots. You could see with the Remington Thunderbolt at first, you know, I pulled that one shot way off to the right. That was the one right on the edge of the target. That was definitely me. But you know, take these results however you want to see fit. It was just me kind of sitting there on a loose rest. Wasn't a perfect accuracy example, and those iron sights aren't really precise when you're at 50 yards, and my eyes aren't great, to be honest. But so I'm happy with that. I've taken this gun hunting before and gotten some great headshots on some birds before, so it can be very accurate. Like I said, I just really wanted to get out and shoot it, so I thought I'd share the things that I found with it, my experiences with it. You know, take those results what you will, think what you think. Let me know down in the description, or not, you guys can't write in the description. You guys write in the comments below what you thought of this video, what you think of the 702 Plinkster. If you saw 2 videos ago, I think, 1 or 2 videos ago, I did make a change where all my outdoor content that isn't firearms content is going to be over on my new channel, Kwmjam Outdoors. So there's a link down in the description below, so go check that out. Otherwise, like, subscribe, all that kind of fun stuff. I'll see you guys on the next adventure.